The final cut is a masterpiece, but the first draft is a war zone. This is between the frames. The Truman Show is one of those perfect, once-in-a-generation films. It's funny, it's heartbreaking, and it's unsettling in a way that's hard to shake. But what if I told you the movie we all know and love could have been a much, much darker experience? A bleak, paranoid sci-fi thriller set in a gritty, urban New York City. That was the original vision, and the journey from that grim concept to the sun-drenched satire we got is one of the most fascinating tonal shifts in cinema history. It's the story of how director Peter Weir took a good idea and, by deliberately avoiding the darkness, made it a timeless and far more disturbing masterpiece. The story begins with a script by Andrew Niccol, titled The Malcolm Show. This initial draft was a pure, high-concept science fiction thriller. Its protagonist was trapped in a fabricated New York, surrounded by strangers, and gripped by a deep-seated paranoia. The tone was cynical and grim, reflecting the anxieties of a world teetering on the edge of total surveillance. It was a fantastic script, so much so that it sparked a bidding war and landed on Hollywood's prestigious blacklist. But when Australian director Peter Weir came aboard, he saw something different. He recognized that the horror of Truman's situation wasn't just in the surveillance, but in the performance of it all. He didn't want to make a story about a man escaping a prison. He wanted to tell the story of a man waking up inside a paradise that was actually a cage. Weir's first and most crucial decision was to completely overhaul the setting. He threw out the gritty, urban New York and envisioned something radically different: Seahaven Island. This wasn't just a change of location, it was a fundamental shift in the film's entire philosophy. Seahaven is a flawless, pastel-colored utopia, bathed in perpetual sunshine. Its architecture is a nostalgic throwback to 1950s American suburbia, a time often romanticized for its innocence and simplicity. The cars are vintage, the houses have white picket fences, and every neighbor greets you with a gleaming, perfect smile. It's the American dream, packaged and sold as a 24/7 reality show. This visual language is key. By making Seahaven so idyllic, so ridiculously perfect, Weir creates a profound sense of unease. This isn't a dark, oppressive dystopia like in Blade Runner or 1984. It's a cheerful one. The prison bars aren't made of steel. They're made of manicured lawns, friendly faces, and the comforting predictability of a sitcom. This aesthetic choice does two things brilliantly. First, it makes Truman's imprisonment feel all the more insidious. He isn't being held captive by force, but by comfort. Who would want to leave paradise? Second, it externalizes the manufactured nature of his world. Everything looks like a set because it is a set. The impossibly blue sky, the perfectly timed rain, the endlessly looping traffic patterns, is all part of a production design that's just a little too good to be true, creating a subtle, creeping dread beneath the sunny exterior. With the world established, the next challenge was finding the right Truman. This is where the film took its biggest gamble. At the time, Jim Carrey was the biggest comedy star on the planet, known for his rubber-faced, hyper-energetic performances in movies like Ace Ventura and The Mask. Casting him in a role with such deep existential weight seemed like a bizarre choice. Many, including the studio, were skeptical. They wanted a traditional dramatic actor. But Peter Weir saw the potential. He understood that Truman Burbank wasn't a cynical, world-weary protagonist. He was an innocent, a man-child with a sincere, open heart. He needed an actor who could embody that guileless energy. Weir's direction of Carrey is a masterclass in harnessing a performer's natural strengths while pushing them into new territory. He didn't try to suppress Carrey's comedic instincts, he channeled them. The comedy in The Truman Show doesn't come from wacky, over-the-top antics. It comes from Truman's earnest, completely logical reactions to an illogical world. When he tries to book a flight to Fiji and the bus breaks down, his frustration is real. When he starts noticing the patterns, like the man on the bike and the woman with the dog, his budding suspicion is played not for paranoia, but for genuine curiosity. The famous scene where he talks to his bathroom mirror, creating a persona as an explorer, isn't just a gag. It's a poignant expression of his yearning for a world beyond his own, filtered through the only lens he knows: performance. Carrey's physicality becomes a tool for pathos. His broad smiles feel genuine because they are, but they also carry the weight of an entire life lived in blissful ignorance. This perfect balance of comedy and tragedy is the film's secret weapon. The power of The Truman Show lies in the dissonance between what we see and what we know. The bright, cheerful score by Burkhard Dalwitz sounds like it belongs in a light-hearted family film, but it's scoring a man's psychological imprisonment. The blatant product placement, with Meryl cheerfully holding up a new kitchen gadget, is funny, but it's also a horrifying reminder that every intimate moment of Truman's life is sponsored content. The laugh track that occasionally punctuates the events on screen reinforces the idea that his pain is someone else's entertainment. These are all tools of comfort and television convention, but Weir reframes them as instruments of control. This tonal choice makes the film's critique of media, celebrity culture, and our voyeuristic tendencies far more effective than a straightforward thriller ever could have been. A dark film would have put us on Truman's side from the beginning, feeling his paranoia. But by making it a comedy, Weir implicates us, the audience. We laugh along with the viewers in the film's universe, enjoying the show, before the horror of what we are watching slowly dawns on us. The climax, where the benevolent creator Christoph unleashes a terrifying storm to stop Truman from escaping, is so powerful because it represents the complete breakdown of that cheerful facade. The bright blue sky literally cracks, and the god of this world reveals his monstrous nature. The comforting illusion shatters, and we are left with the raw, terrifying truth. In the end, The Truman Show's accidental tone became its defining genius. It succeeded by finding the comedy in its dystopia and the tragedy in its laughter. Peter Weir's decision to steer away from the grim source material and embrace a bright, satirical approach created a film that was not only more accessible but infinitely more haunting. It proved that sometimes, the most effective satire isn't the one that shouts its message, but the one that whispers it with a smile. It's a film that, more than 2 decades later, feels more prescient than ever, a cheerful warning about a world where the line between reality and entertainment has all but disappeared. And it all started with one director looking at a dark script and deciding to turn on the lights. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this look at the alchemy of filmmaking, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into how our favorite movies are made. See you next time, Between the Frames.